Yo, welcome to TeamViza TV Interview Series. I am your host, IPW. I want to take this time to make up all my sponsors for making this project possible. Big respect to Geo Designs, Army Clothing, Lala Closet, the Royal Family, Vision of Companies, Inner Santos Entertainment, Hakim Graphic Designs, and Shimalicious Pizza. Now this gentleman come all the way from Point 14. As I say, TeamViza TV is not all about the artists or the sport, you know. Tonight we're making it political. Let's welcome the TeamViza Interview Series, the guy they call Mr. Kobe. Right. The reason why I want to pause this music, Kobe, surname, help me.
Sandy, Kobe Sandy.
Kobe Sandy. Are you relative of the late Salandi?
No. She is Salandi. I am Sandy.
Oh, she's Salandi.
Yeah.
You're Sandy. Alright. So, Mr. Kobe Sandy, would you like to give TeamViza the history of where you come from, the school you represent? Take us back to the very beginning.
Alright, well, good night to you. What's your name again, sir?
IPW,
and everybody, all the cast, and those who are listening, very viewers. My name, as IPW said, is Kobe Sandy, a humble name. Named after the late Kobe Bryant.
I big up Kobe Bryant one time, the late Kobe Bryant one time.
Just 20 years of age. I'm born on 28th of May 2000 in Point 14 area hospital. And I'm the son of Natalie Joseph. I don't know if you know her, Jamaican Shark Lady in Point 14.
That's it, mom?
Yeah, that's
big up mommy one time.
Of course, when I represent Point 14 Anglican Primary School and of course Varsity Secondary School. And of course from there I also will hail St. Joseph High School in my sixth form years. The St. Joseph High School in Guyana. I stayed in Guyana for 2 years and what I've done Cape there as well. Okay. So I also hailed my Guyanese brethren from TeamViza. So we reached international. Right. In my few years of life so far, I would have grown to find an interest in youth advocacy, community work, and leadership.
Right.
And it came in many ways. It came where you would have seen a need to change something. And when you would have seen a need to change something, things just happen to be in the path for you to achieve that. I always say that all of us have gifts. And we must walk in the direction that the gift was given to us from God.
Right, exactly.
And when we continue to walk in that direction, we will see that the opportunities will arise to achieve your gifts. And I can say, as much as your gifts and of course your purpose. And at this time, I can say that, thank God, that I found my purpose. I found my gift. It might not be sports, it might not be the arts, it might not be anything that you will often see, but I have seen my gifts in making a difference in society, empowerment, and so on. And I thank God for that as a 20 years old at this time. So.
Before I jump into anything, right, with Mr. Sandy. Mr. Sandy, you came here last week with the Member of Parliament, which is Mr. Kennedy Richards Jr., right? And as I embrace you, I told you I'm big on energy. And I feel your energy. And I tell myself, I say, alright, this gentleman have a lot to offer. Ask him to be a part of TeamViza TV the next week, which is today's date. How did you feel about that?
Well, actually, I must say at first that I admire the work that you are doing as a young man in the community investing, because I would have seen the conversation and the discourse that has been happening under this platform for the past few months. And I always was when I wish to be there one day. I always, and this is honestly, it's not fabricating or telling you, but I say I wish to be here someday, and seeing how you promote the talent of this region to the nation at large. It might be controversial at times.
Yeah.
It might be funny at times.
The humor.
But of course, the message is there that we young people in the Southwest has a lot to offer. So when you asked me to come on your set today, I felt so humbled to be here, and I thank God for being here on this.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Sandy,
Yes.
I want to jump straight into it, right?
Go ahead.
No, they have a big catalog. If you don't know, this gentleman, they have a very long catalog. We go try and sum it up as, you know what I mean, right? At the age of 11, Kobe founded a charity organization called the Friends Incorporative, right? Which has base in the rural community of Aripero, the southwestern peninsula of Trinidad. His vision for this organization was to provide educational assistance to the children within that community whose parents could not afford to send them to school on regular basis. Let's speak about this.
Well, I would have gone to Aripero to church. I was born in church all the time. And my aunt, and I'll call her, her name is Reverend Sandra Russo. She was like another mother to me, would have groomed me to the man that I am today.
Right.
She's in Guyana right now. She would have went to Aripero at first to Aripero Open Bible to spearhead that church, and I came along with her. But while we were there, I realized that there were a lot of young people, a lot of children at 11 years. I saw a lot of my peers who couldn't read, who couldn't write, and who couldn't go to school, as I said there, on a regular basis because they had to work.
Right.
During some days they had to work, they had to go and sell mango, sell water to bring income to the family, which means they couldn't go to school, and which means they couldn't achieve the full education that they could have gotten. Eric Williams, when in this independence, he said that the future of the country is in the school bag. But if the future cannot get the school bag, then our future is limited, and we can't go forward in a country where our young people, children, the most vulnerable in the country, do not get the full education that they so deserve. And I, at 11, saw that need in the community, and I asked myself, how can I help them?
Propose a little. At the age of 11?
Yes, 11 years. Before 11, I used to, when I was very, very young, I used to play in the yard when the other boys playing football and basketball, and I used to not go and play with them, and I used to be playing myself. And I used to have class, I used to have like teaching the trees, school.
Right.
And teaching and the plants, and I used to have a little ruler in my hand, and I was doing the ruler. and I remember all of that to say it might be trivial, but that trivial thing that you are seeing there, it transcended into something that I had, which was a love to help, to see that education is important at that time. So when I came and I saw my peers who couldn't even read simple things, that hurt me to the core. And I kept asking the adults in church how to help. I want to help these to help
At this age you was
11.
11.
And from there, what we did in that year, that was 2011, we started a book club. And I wanted I got books from the church members. We had a whole box of books. And I wanted to do like a book club where we read to the children. We read to them. And we let them read to us. So we'd have like that discourse going on. We read. Reading is important. I love to read. I always love to read. But from that year, we ended up doing a vacation school. I went to Atlantic LNG with my sweaty, short self. You know, 12 years old at that time. Going at Atlantic, wrote up a letter for myself, a letter for sponsorship for myself. I wrote that letter. Carry it to the Atlantic. When they saw me, they want to know where I come from. They want to know who parents left me here. But when I met someone, and I call her Denise Maloney, she is a retired secretary at Atlantic Point Porting, and she would have guided from 2012 to 2016. And from that point, they would have sponsored me stationery for every year to help the children. So we had a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of vacation school. We taught maths, and we and of course the peers in my church who were also going to school, and we came together and formed this group called Friends Inc. And we taught maths, English, we taught literature, we taught social studies, we taught science, we taught drama, dance, music, because I also believe that it's not only about writing and talk. It's also about applying other skills so that we give the young people, the children, a platform to express themselves. Right. That's why I appreciate your platform here, because you give young people to express themselves and explore their talent. Right. So that is why. Yes. So that is why I'm saying.
And got in that closer. Did your man? You hired. Very good.
That is why I'm saying. When we apply those things for those children, hundreds every year, from 2011 to 2016. We would have grown, we would have gotten sponsors from people. SM Jalil gave us a whole 2 boxes and 2 crates of chubby. We fed them, we had food, we have lunch, we had breakfast. We ensure that those children are given quality education. And you know who taught them? Us. No adults, but peers. 16 years old.
What was the answer?
I led that team for 5 distinct years.
Right. See you being a person who reaching out to help others. Who does help Mr. Sunday?
Right. A lot of people. As I said, when you are walking your journey, many things is coming away, barriers and potholes and so on that make you fall. But you need to get up, shake yourself and walk and continue to go. But you know, people are there to support you. People are there to support you. The first person who I must call upon for support is God. I cannot sit down here and talk about what I have done without Him. Who would have guided who would have formed my mind to think and to understand and to forecast and to develop and to create and to explore. Without Him, I am nothing, and I am merely a vessel that He have to use to perform good works. So He is the one, the most distinct support. But from Him, He will bring people to be that to give you that physical and push to continue to go. Other than that, He would have, of course, given my mother, right? Mother who would have brought me into this world with many challenges. My father wasn't the one to say you will call upon, but she had to, at 23 years old, take a month to have me. So I must thank her first of all for not taking me away. Second of all, my same lady who I now mentioned, Sandra Rousseau. She would have, of course, when my mom was very young, she would have taken me up and would have applied all of the skills, the values, the morals within me. She pushed me to be what I am today in church. And her open Bible, I would have followed her because at first we were at Point 14, we came to Ipero now. We came to Ipero and she was the first one I told her about the children. I always used to tell her all of my ideas and plans. At first, remember, I was very young again, very, very small. In Egypt there, because I'm from Egypt village. In Egypt, she said, and Sandra, I want to be the mayor Point 14, you know. I want to build a community center in Egypt village.
You?
Yeah, I told her, I was very young. She said, why Egypt don't have a community center? Why we don't have a proper thing for children to play? Understand?
Right.
I used to say, I want to do that. And she said, yes, boy, you can do it. And in Ipero now, when I told her of the issue I had with the children, she would have encouraged me to continue that. Because she was the pastor, so she made sure that plan come to fruition. I remember I sat on leaders meeting with her. Yeah, with all of these big adults and me, little child, in leaders meeting. And when I often raise my ideas to the leaders, they often laugh because they it's a big idea. Oh, those who little me could do this thing.
Yeah.
So, but she would chide them and say, this child will do great things. She was to don't laugh at that. Don't laugh at that. But encourage him to do what is good.
Right.
I went to Guyana, I followed her in Guyana. Because I'm from my Portugal in Guyana. I finished CXC in Destiny and I went to Guyana in 2017. And she would of course embrace me. She would have given me platforms. She made me lead the young people there because it was dormant. She gave me the platform to do what I had to do. She would of course direct me in the path, so when you want to go off, she will bring you back on track.
Right.
When you do something wrong, she will tell you no, she will guide, she will discipline, she would. I look up to her to this very day. When I call her time and tell her I'm going to youth parliament to talk, to debate, she pray with me one time and say you will do well. That is the kind of support you need.
Before we go further, right? As I mentioned, youth parliament, right? No, it takes a lot from somebody to actually reach in the youth parliament. It's not the ordinary person could just get up one morning and say, you know what, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, I'm going to youth parliament. Let's talk about some of your educational background.
Right.
Coming from the College of Vesely,
right,
which TeamViza TV resides.
Of course.
Vesely. Let's speak about some of that.
Well, I would have came invested in 2012. And when I started there, when I started in Form 1, it wasn't the best. Trying to fit in with the crowd, trying to fit in with young people, trying to fit in with friends. It wasn't the best because when I tried to fit in, I often wasn't being myself.
Right.
Got in trouble. You know, have some investment called the bench.
You used to get trouble in Vesely?
Well, in early days. early days, right? Big up Messi Manes and big up Miss Spiderman and Miss
Mommy, yeah. Right.
And when I start, often sort of when they bench, when they give trouble and because you're trying to fit in.
Right.
But from 1, from 2, from 3, but from 1 actually, I would have been selected to be a part of a student council.
Okay.
As the rep for my class. I would have gone on from 2 and from 3. The teachers, some of them haven't seen the talent I had within me, would have pulled those things. So remember, I keep telling you that you must have people to shape and mold and guide. So besides my family, the school system, the teachers would have also assisted in that shaping, mold and guiding.
Did you have one teacher that stood out?
What?
Really work with you?
Gosh, boy. If I say one, no.
Okay, if it's 5 you got the one that always keep is a Sandy.
Well,
You know?
there's one, but she's not a teacher, but she was the guidance counselor in the school. And her name is Alicia Tull. And she would have seen my growth from Form 1 to Form 5, and she would have been the one to, every day I used to be in her office, every day I used to be like her, and she would of course been with me from day one to this day. All of them have been with me, you know, but Miss Tull was the one to always be
Big
there
ship one
till
time.
this day.
Yeah.
Right? So from the student council would have been into I was made vice president, the youngest vice president they ever had in Form 3. And because I would have seen that the student council was dormant. It was a dormant group of children who supposed to represent the interests of the students. But people wasn't doing anything. We hardly had meetings, nobody used to come. So I always used to raise that in Form 1. When I was in Form 1, I used to raise that concern. So when I was excited to be a part. So when I hear student council, I know on TV with student body president and big election and things. So I was excited to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So when I saw, well, what is this? What is this? And you know, at that time I was thinking a lot of people against me, because I don't know who is this little child coming here who wants to run things. You know, I used to be laughed at. At that time I used to probably I still have that a little bit. Issue with talking.
Right.
I used to stutter a lot. I remember I was in a council meeting, and I was giving my speech as to why we not do anything and why we must revitalize ourselves. And I you know, someone called me Jack Warner and somebody and laughed at me, and I walked out and I went to Mr. office and I had my time and I cried. From 1, from 2, you know. So passionate to come and, you know, with your passion, they destroyed it at the time. But that never faded. I continue to work for the students, I continue to help, I continue to be of assistance and to try to see if we could improve the student body in the same secondary school.
Facts. Yeah.
I continued, and whilst the upper school students used to see me as a nuance, the teachers, some of them have been seeing that trend happening. You understand? They understood that trend. But from there, I went to Form 3 and I became vice president. And from Form 4, I became upper school vice president. And then I became the president. Right? And we have in Vestini under my tenure the first bazaar in 8 years. Vestini used to be the school of bazaar.
Yeah.
But then it stopped after a while. We had the first one in 8 years. We had the Duke and the Duchess pageant in the school. I actually, with that pageant, I ran in that pageant. And today I'm the Duke of Vestini Secondary School. But I won the pageant. And you know, I went there, I went in that pageant. People telling me, Kobe, but you are size, we went there, you're fat. We went there for. That's for people who had muscles and things. There was not the same way, so I got to go. So I went anything with my phone. It was a funny thing because I went there with confidence. I bought my suits. I had my talent. I did a monologue. I like drama. I did theater arts in Vestini. I won that, thank God. And did a monologue, and did of course a costume, and my costume represented the diversity of the school.
Right.
And with that I won, and it showed me that at that time the saying was confidence is everything.
Right.
So after that, we kind of transformed how student representation is addressing. And of course, from there we went to RBC Young Leaders. RBC Young Leaders, under in TeamViza, RBC Young Leaders was a group. It was a program under the RBC Bank, where they encourage schools to do projects and something that will help the community, help society.
Right.
I would have been there. I was interested in starting back that club in the school. Now that is added to my role in council. So now I'm RBC Young Leaders. Because I said, we could do something. I looked at the need of, at that time we had a lot of children who used to cut themselves. Cut the hand, cut.
Or razor blade.
Yeah, it was self-harm. And I wanted to address that. Because it wasn't healthy for the students' mental health. I wanted to address students cutting themselves, hurting themselves, harming themselves. And from that project, we did a mural to raise confidence. We painted a mural. We shared we spread awareness throughout the country as to what is self-harm and how to identify it and how to help children, how to help young people overcome it. Because we don't want what I'm saying lead to suicide. It's best we stem it now before we go and see them under a rope or somewhere drowned. We don't want them to reach that level, so we can stem it now before it escalates into something we all regret.
Let's give it up for this one.
In that program, RBC Leaders, I got opposition because you need a teacher to be the one at the helm to guide and to get the project done. I went over with my little self, go on by every teacher to see if they could join us. Blank, shut the door was shut. I feel like if it was Jesus and Mary going going house to house, going into it, because the door getting shut in their face. Of course, for various reasons that they can't and they have all the estimates correct and they have all kinds of things to do, but I went to every teacher I could do. I wanted to get them to be a part. All I wanted is one to agree. I got one, the one ended up dropping out halfway.
Half a junior process.
Yeah, so that means we gone back to square one. We could have been disqualified, but I tried again. And then the teacher who ended up taking the mantle, her name is Miss Anne-Marie Jacob. And she was the young leaders teacher in decades ago, but she was getting in age and she was not. She said to me she really don't have the energy again to go, but because she saw my drive and my persistence to continue, she was moved to continue with us. We, with her guidance, we went to thick and thin, students who dropping out, who not come in, but I made sure that project be completed. And at the end of it all, this Vesey Secondary School, out of over 80 schools, was given top 10 place and a award of honor for their work in that project. It would of course led me. They would have seen, so the people in RBC Bank, the high echelons in RBC Bank, having seen my persistence in this school there, would have made me one of the most outstanding leaders in the country. And I've gone to Canada for that.
As I tell you, Mr. Sandy, your catalog big, right? Moving up, before you move away from university, are you familiar with Aaron George?
Yes, I am. We were in school choir together.
Do you know that he's the CEO and founder of
Innocent? Of course.
Big up Aaron George.
Aaron and yeah. A very special and a very amazing young man indeed. Very talented, very, very talented. We were in choir, we did productions. I remember the first one we did, when I came to school, he was of course probably from 5 or from 6. We did a production for Christmas. We did one for a kind of African theme one, and Aaron was always there. And I'm big up at this time also Miss Julia County, because she was the our farmer son. She was the one to ensure that all of us, express our talents there. So even though I might be able to do them things, I can also sing a little bit in a choir, not I sing here, but in a choir, I can sing and I can.
Moving away from the college, he is very successful in college. Education is concerned, right? Let's speak about the parliament.
Parliament, for sure. Well, I am a two-time youth parliamentarian. The first opportunity was in 2016, and how it goes, the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago will of course choose schools, and they will send 2 reps.
Yeah.
And I was selected alongside one of my colleagues, Sarah Dan from Labrie, also big up at this time. And when we went to youth parliament, I was given the portfolio of Minister of Social Development and Family Services, Member of Parliament for Lopino, Bonny and West. And we debated the motion on youth crime, trying to stymie youth crime. I gave, of course, a perspective on the social development and what we are doing to improve families, because family is the core of society. So we must be able to fix that so that it wouldn't fall apart into a life of crime.
Right.
And from there, from my contribution, I was, of course, given the speaker's mention of strongest debater out of approximately 50 debaters. I was given that. And from there, in 2021, which is this year, the Youth Parliament actually was supposed to be in December 2020, went to do a virtual Youth Parliament. And what they did, they recalled 25 young people who were previous youth parliamentarians from the years 2016 to 2020. In early 2020, last year, they had an all-female youth parliament. So they would have chosen the best out of those 4 or 5 years. And I also happened to be a part of that 25. It was supposed to be in December, but the 7th, but that day, throughout the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago, specifically, that's when the Wi-Fi crashed. Remember that day there's no Wi-Fi?
No Wi-Fi, yeah.
And of course, being virtual, it required Wi-Fi, so it ended up postponing to the 11th this month. And I was there as the opposition this time, member for St. Augustine, and we debated the motion on bridging the digital divide in Trinidad and Tobago. And I was awarded the 3rd most outstanding debater out of 25 outstanding debaters. That, of course, been I'd have debated in many things as well in competitions in Destiny. So it would have leave me to here.
Alright. We gotta do our part 2, you know. No, we gotta do our part 2 because as you know, all that gets sunset, right? But before we go, I wanna speak about your portfolio with the Member of Parliament, Secretary Richard.
Sure. Currently I sitting as the Member of Parliament's Communications, Research and Project Assistant through the OJT program in the Ministry of Labour. And that portfolio, I enjoyed a lot because it is in tandem with my program of study at the UB right now, because I'm pursuing a degree in public sector management with law.
In UB right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
full-time student. And that program, sitting in this portfolio, it's similar because you are given the mantle to us to administrate, to execute programs, to create programs, to create policy. And I'm given now an opportunity through the MP to create program, policy, and initiative for the benefit of Point 14.
Okay.
Right? So, because I am given a platform again, another platform to express myself and to develop my talent. And I thank the Member of Parliament Kennedy Richard Jr.
Jr.
for giving me a young man.
Now, off camera, we will speak about the next date.
Right, no
Because,
problem.
as I say, your catalog very big. You know what I mean?
I would like to know the qualification you have.
Qualification?
Yeah, that you get from wrestling school or whatever.
Right, well, of course, I got my full 8 subject certificate from Destiny. From there, I went to Cape in Guyana, where I've gotten distinct honor in law, Caribbean studies, and from Guyana. Really, I can come back next time because Guyana is a whole new story
Yes.
by itself.
Yes.
And from Guyana, I've come here, and I'm now in my second year would graduate next year, providing all things goes equal, with my bachelor's in science in public sector management.
You see? My energy wasn't wrong. I know this gentleman have plenty to offer. Right? Mr. Sandy, before we close off, political aspect.
Right.
Are you under the People's National Movement?
Well, because I'm working with the MP in his office, it would mean that I would have been affiliated with the People's National Movement because he is a PNM representative. So by that virtue, I support the political party because I believe of course, the youth of the party, especially people like Kennedy Richards, people like Shamfa Kojo, people like Marvin Gonzalez, people like Adrian Leon. These people are good, so that's why I support him. I support the party.
Do you wish to speak? Do you wish to speak 30 seconds on the by-election we have coming up on the 24th of January?
Well, of course. Well, I would say is that we are seeing democracy in play. We are seeing democracy in play. A PNM candidate, a unity candidate, and an independent candidate. And under our democracy, everybody's entitled to be a candidate. Everybody's entitled to vote for whoever they believe will lead and be able to provide the proper representation. So on Monday, whatever comes out, we will see, and we will all see that democracy has won.
You have to come back here. Anyway, management are taking notes already. So, you know what I mean? Before we close off, Mr. Kobe Sandy, this is the opportunity. I'll give it a look into the camera to send a positive message to youths in Point 14 and in environs.
All I will say to all young people is to first in life, in this time, find your purpose. Find your purpose. Work towards your purpose. Whatever you like, whatever is your passion, you build on that passion. And if you're doing something that you're not passionate about, you don't like, that means it is not for you.
Facts.
Know what is for you and what is not for you.
Facts.
And work towards that.
Facts.
Simple.
Facts. Right, there we have it. The guy himself, Mr. Kobe Sandy. Mr. Kobe Sandy, it's a pleasure being a part of TeamViza TV Interview Series Season 2, Part 1. Because we had to have a part 2. Nice.
I shall return here as the president of the Guild of Students of the Youth.
Right. Now, to view this full interview, check us out on YouTube at TeamViza TV and follow us on Instagram for the latest update at TeamViza_TV. Mr. Sandy.
Yeah.